Are you a big fan of anime? How about epic suits of armor in anime? Well then, stick around as this video is for you. Welcome back to Comet Comics, where today we will be counting down our picks for the top 10 coolest suits of armor in anime. If you want to see more content like this, make sure to like the video, hit that subscribe button, and click that bell icon for notifications on upcoming content. With that, let's jump right on into our top 10 picks, shall we? Number 10. Kuromu. To start off this list, we have Kuromu. Avatar name, Chrome, with his blood-stained white armor. This is not the armor Kuromu started with in the beginning of Bofuri. However, he later acquires the blood-stained armor from a dungeon skeleton boss. He was only able to enter the Tomb of the Dead dungeon after dying over 1,000 times. Along with his armor came the short sword Neck Drop and the great shield Wall of Revengeful Ghosts. With a Ronin-style design and maroon in color, this armor is all about HP recovery. Number 9. Escanor. The Lionson of Pride Escanor, one of the strongest, if not the strongest character in 7 Deadly Sins, needed armor that would represent the power of the sun. Actually, he didn't need armor, as he is so insanely powerful that he is almost invincible during the day. But since he does have armor, what better armor than his gold-plated set? We don't see him wear it that much, but he did use it in the fight against Estarossa, which was pretty badass. The armor is all gold-plated with blue shoulder pads and looks quite amazing when paired with the divine axe, Rita. Number 8. Hayato. In a world where monsters called savages exist wreaking havoc, we have Hayato Kisaragi, a slayer who was infected with a virus composed of the savage's DNA, making him a variant. What's really cool about Hayato is that his armor is a mix of his Hien, a 100 device which gives him an enormous sword, a full body armament, and his air ride equipment. This combination gives him not only a cool look, but makes him a deadly combatant, especially when he is in his raging berserk mode. His armor also allows him to project N barriers, among many other things, and is why we just had to include him when talking about the coolest armors in anime. Number 7. Momon. Lord Momonga, also known as Ainz Ulgon, Overlord of the Great Tomb of Nazarick, had to make our top 10 because not only does he have a pretty awesome looking appearance in general, but when he plays the Dark Warrior and Leader of Darkness Momon, the Adamantite class adventurer, he also has a pretty sick looking set of armor. He is clad in black with gold highlights and a red cape, not to mention his 2 enormous swords that he uses in combat. When equipped with this armor, he is reduced to a level 50 magic caster and warrior, which does significantly reduce his powers from level 100, but that is to be expected when he's taking on the Momon persona. After all, he can't resemble Ainz too much in abilities, but don't mess with Momon the Adventurer, because you'll still have the Tomb of Nazarick to deal with. Number 6. Issei. When talking about armor, the Balance Breaker had to make our list, because it isn't just insanely powerful, but it looks insanely cool as well. It is scarlet red in color with green orbs and has the design of a dragon, mainly due to the fact a Welsh dragon by the name of Dreg literally possesses the sacred gear. This gives him the ability to use said armor that doubles his power every 10 seconds until he reaches his limit. The more Issei trains, the more his boosted gear and armor evolve with him. Issei just has to be careful with how much he boosts his Balance Breaker, as he can lose control and engage his Juggernaut drive, turning him into an unstoppable beast that looks like a dragon. Pretty cool, huh? Number 5. Hoki. Flying in at number 5, we have Hoki with the IS unit, Akatsubaki. Although this is considered the most powerful IS in the anime, being the first true 4th gen unit, Hoki's training currently doesn't allow it to fully manifest all of its abilities and weapons used at its highest potential. This puts it at the same level of all the other IS units in the anime. Interesting fact, the Akatsubaki was actually designed to be a match for Ichika's Byakushiki, even though in the anime, the Akatsubaki seemed to be slightly superior in speed. Despite Hoki's training, this unit is one you will never catch due to its insanely fast speed and maneuverability, but also one you wouldn't want to take on in a head-on fight due to its advanced weaponry and shielding. This is why the Akatsubaki comes in at number 5 on our top 10. Number 4. Mordred. Dubbed the Knight of Treachery, Mordred is a master swordsman and will stop at nothing to prove her strength. Her armor is medieval in design with a whitish gray color and red highlights. The helmet has a devilish look with a set of horns and can fold open like a faceplate. Her armor is very defensive in most places, and once deflected an arrow meant to pierce her chest, but instead pierced her shoulder. The armor can be quickly regenerated if it gets damaged. Mordred also wields a two-handed sword with only one hand, and is capable of using a very powerful Noble Phantasm from the blade. This powerful and defensive combo is difficult to take down, That's why Mordred landed the number 4 spot. Number 3, Urza Scarlet. We can't do a list without Urza Scarlet, as she is the Queen of Fairies, switching between her many sets of armor. Out of all the armor she has in her arsenal, for this list we're going to have to choose the Heaven's Wheel armor, as it is one of, if not the coolest armor she is able to equip. Not only does it come with 2 one-handed swords for combat, but she is also able to summon over 200 swords to launch at her enemies. The armor's design is mostly silver in color and has 2 wings made completely out of metal. These allow her to fly, which gives her an edge in combat. Urza, with her Heaven's Wheel armor, is a formidable foe, and with her equipping ability, she is not someone who will be easily defeated. That drive to get stronger and the design of this armor is why she had to be placed in at number 3. Number 2, Lux Arcadia. While Lux was known as the weakest undefeated, his divine drag ride Bahamut is something to behold. Bahamut was the most powerful drag ride in the Old Kingdom, but was extremely draining on the body, so it couldn't be used for long. Some of the armor's abilities include Reload on Fire, which slows down time for 5 seconds and then speeds it up again for another 5 seconds. Quick Shot, which can be paired nicely with Reload on Fire to see through his enemy's moves while accelerating his own speed to make a killing blow. As a last resort, Lux can use Bahamut's Over Limit to change it to its original form for increased armor, offensive strength, and flight power. Even though this armor is more like power armor in borderline mecha, we had to put Bahamut in our number 2 spot. Before our number 1 pick, let's go over a few honorable mentions. Shaltir Bloodfallen. Overlord is just jam-packed full of cool armors, and another one that has to make our list, even if it's only in the honorable mentions, has to be Shaltir Bloodfallen's armor. It technically has no name, as it is just a legendary class piece of equipment, but it does stand up against Ainz in a fight, so it has to be pretty powerful. Volley, White Dragon Emperor. Since we included the Red Dragon Emperor, we had to have the White Dragon Emperor, as both of their armors are insanely cool and powerful. This armor is wielded by Volley Lucifer, a descendant of Lucifer and owner of the Longinus Divine Dividing, which makes him the direct rival of Issei. This sacred gear is possessed by the vanishing dragon Albion and is oftentimes locked in a mortal combat with Drag. Chrome Disaster. The Chrome Disaster is a bulky, heavy-hitting sentient enhanced armament. Like its name implies, it is a chrome silver color that has a demon bat-like design. This armor is crazy strong, with a multitude of abilities depending on the burst linker it connects with. The 2 main abilities that stay with Chrome Disaster are Drain, which takes health from someone else to recover its wearer, and Divination, which helps predict its opponent's next move. Moomin Rider. No armor list is complete without mentioning Moomin Rider from One Punch Man. Although it's not the craziest looking armor, and it does nothing to really protect him from the villains in the series, Moomin Rider's hard work and determination to overcome impossible odds are the reason we had to mention it. Number 1, Basara. Now I know a lot of people will disagree, but ranking in at number 1 on our top 10 list has to be Basara with his demon armor. What is interesting about Basara's demon armor is that its abilities actually come from his compatibility with the Brynhildr sword. This sword has an S-ranked demon sealed inside of it by the strongest Valkyrie of the same name. His first form of armor just covers his arm, but after he overcomes his fears and sinks further with the sword, he is able to don a full body armor known as his demon armor. Its design is pretty badass, as it is a black battle armor with silver armor covering his arm and shoulder. Not to mention a silver halo-like object on his back with 2 green ribbons that hang from it. The armor itself boosts Basara's abilities so much that he can easily overpower the current Demon Lord. And the anime takes it one step farther with the anime original God Armor. In comparison to his demon armor, his god armor is a fully silver set and turns his hair completely green as opposed to just a streak with his demon armor. This is why Basara ranks in at number 1 on our list. Well, that's our picks for the top 10 coolest suits of armor in anime. What do you think of our top 10? Which suits of armor would you add or change? You can let us know in the comments down below. As always, thank you for tuning in to Comet Comics, and I'll see you on our next top 10 video.